Hey guys, this is Sean Box. Welcome to MST.TV. I have a very special guest for you guys today. We are among gods here today, or a god, the Madolche God. Please give a warm welcome to Aleksandar Socolovic.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for taking the time. You are in Europe, I'm in Canada. We're in such a different time zone, so I appreciate you, staying up for me to kind of feature you here today. And today we got an awesome deck profile for you guys. Not only a deck profile, but we also have a tournament report for this is the Eastern Europe and Italy invitational qualifier for Remote Duel, and you finished among top 4 using Madolche.
Yeah, using the best deck after Pendulum.
Best deck after Pendulum. Wow, you are giving Triff so much credit there.
Of course.
Well, I kind of want to talk about this very quickly. It's that your build to me seems so unorthodox. Like, this is not the playstyle that I am used to with Madolche. And you are, like most people already know, I'm a huge fan of Madolche because my wife is a huge fan of Madolche. This is all of her cards. I don't own a single Madolche card because she owns all of them, and she tried to max rarity the whole thing, which is why I have this right here for us. So we're going to be featuring your build. But before we jump into your tournament, break down all the matchups you played, I know you played a lot of meta. First of all, give us some shoutouts.
Oh, of course. I want to give a huge shout out to the entire Niche Locals Yu-Gi-Oh community. Everybody there is a huge friend of mine. Everybody there supported me a lot. They cheered me on. And thanks to everyone there, especially thanks to Milutin, Vukashin, and Damian. They helped me get all of the cards. Milutin sent me Pot of Prosperities, Vukashin sent me Zeus, and Damian helped arrange everything. He got the cards from them, sent them to me a day before the tournament. So a huge thanks to them.
Alright, awesome, but it's really nice to have buddies in the community that are willing to send you cards and help you complete your deck, and that is always a nice thing to see happen here. And you did perform extremely well. Would you like to give it a little bit of an introduction about yourself, because I don't think a lot of people know about you, and you've been doing really well in the European region.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically only the Balkan area knows who I am, because I usually play there. I didn't go to any YCSs, mainly because of college, and then the second reason is because my parents won't let me. But yeah, I'm Aleksandar. I'm almost 24, from Serbia, and I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since like 2005, and I've been playing Madolche since 2012, since Return of the Duelist. And basically the deck just keeps getting better and better every year. Konami loves the deck also, so they give it new support every year. And yeah, it's pretty fun. You can play like a lot of different builds, and all of them can work. But I think that this one might actually be the best Madolche build at the moment.
At the moment.
At the moment.
Okay, we will go into it, but let's start off with a quick tournament report. For you guys who want to skip ahead with the deck profile, feel free. So let's go into the breakdown. Okay, so bringing out the round to round, we're going to talk about this. So you fought quite a few Virtual World matches, but round 1, you fought against Virtual World. And how'd that do?
Yeah, I lost round 1 mainly because game 1, he put up a double VFD. I had no hand traps, and I had no chance of getting through that, so I just scooped. We went to game 2. I opened the classic combo, Magdalene plus Salon, and that's the combo where I can play through Nibiru. I can play through more hand traps. So I opened pretty fine. I ended up with Rafflesia and some traps. I got game 2, and game 3, I drew the worst possible hand. I drew double Madolche Salon, double Mess and Gelato, and Madolche Chateau.
You're not playing poker. That's no good.
Yeah, that was basically unwinnable.
But you did get a couple of follow-up rounds of Virtual World right after. 2 more back-to-back. So you want to quickly summarize, how did those go?
Yeah. Well, round 2, I won the dice roll. And when you go first with Madolches, the end board is pretty fine. You end on Madolche Promenade, which is an Omni Negate. You end on Madolche Knights, which is a counter trap that negates a monster. And if you control the Madolche Puddingses, you can shuffle 1 card from their hand to the deck. So basically, you negate something and you take 1 card away from them. And Madolche Teacher is actually pretty damn fine in the meta, because you can shuffle Bentens, you can shuffle Drytrons, you can shuffle Misk, you can shuffle Virtual World cards, and that Graveyard Interruption is pretty good. So anytime I went first, I basically had no problem building a board and then just winning. But going second, all you basically need is 1 hand trap. I mean, 1 VFD I can go through, because going second, after side I have Kaijus, and the Madolche Promenade also can negate can negate VFD. So you just wanna a normal summon one monster. Maybe if you have double summon, just overlay for teacher and set promenade and just hope for the best. But going first, yeah, you just auto win against everything.
Okay. So yeah, 2 back-to-back virtual, you just took care of them, no problem. And
Yeah,
then you
easily.
have Drytron. Drytron, although it was the best deck, but clearly Virtual World has taken over in terms of popularity. So what's the Drytron matchup like for you?
So I expected a lot more Drytrons and a lot less Virtual Worlds, but it was the complete opposite. So the Drytron matchup was actually finished in like 10 minutes, I think.
Okay.
So game one, I just built my board, and I also had Ash and I had Herald of the Orange Light in my hand.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do anything. And game two, I opened 3 Herald of Orange Lights and the double Madolche Angeli.
I bet this is really confusing to a lot of people. You're playing Herald of the Orange Light in Madolche. That is like,
Herald.
Like you're not even a Drytron. I bet if you activated that right away, people would think that you're Drytron.
Yeah, Herald of Orange Light is actually the best card in the deck.
Okay.
Because it just helps you play through Nibiru. Angeli is fairy, so that's 3 of them. You got 3 Pettingses, they're also fairy, and Puddingses is also fairy. So that's 7 fairies, and you basically use it just to play through Nibiru and to play through a hand trap.
Okay. So what was the how did they lose?
So I believe he got a really bad hand, so he normal summoned the Cyber Petite Angel, which I negated.
Okay.
And he just proceeded to summon 2 Drytrons, link them into Union Carrier, equip it with Dawn Knight, and just pass. So his hand was really bad. And on my turn, I just opened with Angeli. He had 1 hand trap. I believe he had Ash, but I had another Herald of the Orange Light, so I negated the Ash and just went for the OTK.
How does it feel, Drytron, to get hit by your perfect hand trap? But next up, you fought against Phantom Knights. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Phantom Knights, I mean, the biggest problem is actually Dragoon. The Phantom Knights themselves aren't the problem.
Really? Okay.
And actually, I mean, Dragoon isn't even a big problem because Madolche Tiramisu, she doesn't target, so she gets rid of Dragoon pretty easily. But yeah, game 1, he ended his board. I only opened 1 Ash, and he ended with Appaloosa for 4, Time Thief Redoer, and Dragoon, so I couldn't do anything there. And game 2, I built my board going first. He couldn't break through it. Game 3, he went first, and he only put up Dragoon and a set Fogblade. I mean, I didn't know it was Fogblade, but I assumed it was, and it turned out to be. And I opened pretty sick. I just Dark Rulered his Dragoon, specialed my Pancratops just to protect myself from the Fogblade, and normal summon Magdalene, went for full combo, cleared his board. He ended up with 1 card in his hand, and I ended up with 3 interruptions, so he couldn't really do anything. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And then your round 6, you fought against Paleo Frogs. What an unexpected matchup. But then again, rogue matchups are hot these days. You ended up with a draw in this one. So how did that go?
Yeah, I really didn't expect to play Paleo, and my opponent didn't expect to play Madolches. So
what an odd round 6.
The main reason that the match ended in a draw was because he actually didn't know what my cards did. So game 1, I had to explain every single card to him, so game 1 took quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
And game 2, he put up 2 frogs, 2 totally awesomes, and we went back and forth like 4 to 5 turns. He couldn't OTK me, and I just defended myself with my traps because Madolches, they really have good. They can shuffle themselves back into the deck, and also the traps Salon can reset your traps. So your grind game is pretty good. And we went back and forth for like 5-6 turns, maybe more. I'm not sure. And he ended up beating me. And while we were siding for game 3, time was called, and it ended in a draw.
But you still made it to the top cut, and into the top cut, you fought in another virtual world. I think we know how this one went. I think you already explained it. But is there anything special about this one?
No, I just won the dice roll, proceeded to quickly 2-0, and that was it.
Okay, and then I guess what cut you off is the Eldlik Invoked matchup.
Well, basically what cut me off the most is RNG.
Okay.
Because game 1, he let me go first.
Okay.
But I opened a pretty bad hand. I opened every single one off. I opened Chateau, Ticket, Double Salon, and Pettingses. And I mean that's still full combo, but I can't play through any hand traps, and he Nibiru'd me. and then he OTK'd me, and I took game 2, and game 3 he went first, only ended on one Dragoon, but I also drew again the Chateau, the ticket, and the Salon. Also had only one starter,
Hard to
so
play
I
through.
lost.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to play through when you have 2 starters. So, for instance, if I had Magdalene or Angeli, besides just having the Pettingses, I would have played through Dragoon and just OTK'd. But yeah, I mean, luck is a big part of the game. So yeah, I guess I can't be mad. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the guy who beat me, Christian Pasic. He's a great player and a great friend of mine.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's a good rundown. I'd like to see this. Okay, you know what, guys? We're going to go straight into the deck profile. Maybe I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, especially regarding like the hand trapping of this, because this feels so conflicting. So let's start off with the main deck here. We have triple Magdalene. I think this is your Stratos of the deck. They're one of the best searchers of the entire deck because it can search any of your Madolche monsters. And then we have Angeli at 3. Again, one of the best monsters. I think this is your MVP, correct? With your hand trap
Yes,
lineup?
Angeli is definitely the MVP since I'm running multiple hand traps.
Yeah.
And when going second, you basically can start with Magdalene or with Pettingses, so you gotta start with Angeli or Hoodcake. But yeah, Angeli is definitely the best card in the deck.
That's right. I can see that now. So you're playing a different style for sure, because a lot of people prefer to open with a Pettingcessor. Speaking of Pettingcessor, we have 3 Pettingcessor. Like, with that many hand traps, doesn't this clog?
Well, it does, but you can easily empty out your graveyard. For instance, Madolche Teacher, she can shuffle your hand traps back into the deck, and then if you have Chateau on your field, you can just get your hand traps back into your hand. And of course, on activation, you just shuffle your Madolche monsters, and you'll always have a Pettingses to bring out from the deck with Angeli or Hood. Okay. And then you can just use her first effect to just special summon her as an additional body.
Can you show me, like, I'm gonna set up a board at the end of this video, and can you show me what you would do to like empty out the board? So I'll put a hand trap in the grave, and I'll have some of these cards. You can tell me what you would do.
Okay, of course.
All right, you guys, we don't need a combo video. We have combo videos. If you guys haven't seen the combo videos before, just YouTube some. There's a lot of Madolche combos out there. And then we have double Hoodcake. So not 3 copies, just 2.
Yeah. Well, since I wanted to just play first the entire tournament, that's how I build the deck. You really only want 2 Hoodcakes, because if you open it, it's dead if you don't have any. Okay. If you don't have anything in your grave, which you won't have if you're going first. So just the 2. Yeah.
Okay. So then we will go into double Messenger Lotto. 3 is a lot. Opening.
Yeah, 3 is a lot.
Opening in your hand is not good at all in most cases.
Well, if you open Messenger Lotto and Pettingses going first, you can still go full combo.
Okay.
Because Pettingses won't eat your normal summon, so you can just normal summon the Messenger Lotto, go into Petting Pudding, go into Teacher, and just use her effect to get a body in the grave, go for Chocolate, and then just link away Messenger Lotto for the what's the name, for Sister. And then you use the Chateau that you will search with the second Messenger Lotto, shuffle it back into the deck.
Yep.
That will proc your Chocolate, and she will bring out the second Messenger Lotto back again. So yeah, with Petting in hand and Messenger Lotto, that's not a break. So that's still full combo.
Okay, so it's not that bad. I'm glad, because like a lot of people can't, like, they just don't know how to play with the Messenger Lotto in hand. It's just, for them, it gets a little awkward. Thanks for, like, you know, highlighting that.
Of course.
Now we have the final card here, which is one of the most important cards of the entire deck, which is Madolche Puddingcess, which is the enabler of your Chocolate a la mode. Without that, without her, there's no deck, and back then we don't even play her. But now she's like,
well, yeah. Before Pettingses came out, you used Brilliant Fusion, and you used to go into Chocolate with Seraphinite and Puddingcess. But now that we have Pettingses, it's really easy to just combo. Actually, even if Brilliant Fusion came back from the ban list, I think I wouldn't actually even run it.
Don't want those bricks. Don't want the garnet.
Yeah. Don't want the garnet.
Okay, here's the fun part here. The amount of hand traps that you run, which is very different from a lot of the Madolche decks out there. Triple Ash, because Ash is a really good...
Yeah, Ash is actually
really good
the
for
best
the format. This is the interesting one of them all. Herald of the Orange Light. How did you come up with this?
Well, I actually wanted to run Drytrons when they came out.
Okay.
So I still have the deck, so I got all the cards, and I was playtesting with my Madolches, and my friend was using my Drytrons, and all of a sudden I thought I could actually use Herald in my deck because Angel is a fairy, Petting Sis is a fairy, and Pudding Sis is also a fairy. So going first, you only use Herald just to play through hand traps. So for instance, one of the rounds against Virtual Worlds, I went full combo with Magellan and Salon, and the combo goes: you normal summon Magellan, search another one, activate Salon, summon Magellan, search Petting, overlay the two Magellans for Afflesia, and you of course run Gravediggers to play around Nibiru, and then with Petting you go full combo. But I also had Herald in the hand, so my opponent at the end of my combo, he activated Nibiru, I chained Rafflesia, he chained Gamma, and I had Herald in hand, and that was pretty much it.
That's pretty good. I like this. I think this is going to move forward. This is probably the part that's going to move forward to a lot of Madolche decks. Like, this is surprisingly good. This is like a Gamma that you can use much later on. I mean, it is literally just Gamma that doesn't, that has like way less restrictions. Really, really cool. Then you also have additional fairies as well. We have Lancias.
Yes, of course, Lancias.
And you played a pair of crows. Lots of hand traps, I would say. Tons of hand traps.
I was thinking of going either 3 Ash and 2 Crows, or vice versa. And I don't know why. I guess I just decided to go 3 Ash and double Crow. That's what my brain thought was fine. But I think vice versa will actually do pretty fine. Crow is good against Dino. It's good against Drytrons when you hit their Benten. It's good against Virtual Worlds. You can hit their Qinglong in the grave. And you can hit the one that summons itself when a level 3 hits the board. I really can't remember the names. Yeah. So yeah, Crow is good, and especially because it's not once per turn, and you can of course recycle it with your Teacher and with your Chateau.
I like.
So yeah, I might actually cut Ash to 2 and bump the Crow to 3.
Okay. Then we're going to go into the spell lineup. I don't think there's too much to explain. This card, Madolche Salon, probably the best spell in the entire deck. That's why you max it out.
Oh yes, of course. It's Brilliant Fusion on crack. Brilliant Fusion on crack. Yeah.
Really nice. One Chateau and one ticket. This is, I guess, well, the one ticket to me makes sense. But the one Chateau, I thought people like to use the Chateau to kind of cycle the Choco a la mode to get her effect off a bit more.
Well, yeah, you use it once in your first combo, and then you basically don't need it anymore because you establish enough of a lead going first. You basically go +5, +6, because that's just how good the deck is, and you really don't need it anymore. You only need it for the 500 attack boost, but that's also not necessary because Tiramisu just clears everything. Yes. So you just you only play one, of course, because Messengelado searches it.
Okay, that's a good search. Next, we have double Pot of Prosperity. Why are you playing 2?
Fun story. I have 3 pots, so let me just bring them up here. Yeah, okay. 3 pots here, of course. And I wanted to play 3, but a friend of mine wanted to play pot as well. So what we were thinking of doing was me running 2 and him running 1. So I submitted my deck list with 2 pots, and the cards actually arrived a day later than I expected them to. So I couldn't send them to my friend because no post on Sundays. So I had 3 pots at my place, but I only wrote 2 on the deck list, so I ended up just playing 2 of them.
Okay. Triple book
of course. Going forward, you're just gonna run 3 pots, of course.
Yes. Triple Book of Moon, good disruption, face down. It's good. It's good disrupting.
Yeah, it's good. Mainly for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in the battle phase.
Yes,
that's the best use for your Book of Moon. And also, before submitting my deck list, I thought that if you book a Virtual World monster, the effect of another Virtual World won't go through. And after submitting the deck list, like 10 minutes before the actual tournament started, the head judge gave the official ruling. So Book of Moon wasn't as good as I thought it would be against Virtual Worlds, but you can still book VFD, you can still book their normal summon. So yeah, it was still pretty fine. Not as good as I wanted it to be, but still perfectly fine.
Triple Cosmic Cyclone. I think this is a pretty standard option.
Yes, pretty standard. Of course, Twisters are bad in Madolches. So yeah, and a lot of cards just protect from destruction, and Cyclone is just the best back row removal, of course.
And then we have double, we're going to traps now, double Madolche Promenade. This card, you just target face apart your opponent controls, and one Madolche card you control or in your graveyard, negate the effects of any of your opponent's cards basically until the end of the turn, and if you do, return the card to your hand. Wow, this is a big plus for you. It's guaranteed that you get something back and your opponent loses the effect.
So the big play, when you open full combo, so when you end with all of your spells face up, so Salon, Ticket, Chateau, and you have Promenade and Knight set, and you will end up with only Puddingses in your grave. So first off, you're gonna use your Promenade, of course, to negate, and when you shuffle your Puddingses back into your hand, that will proc both your Salon and Ticket, and Salon will set your Promenade, your second Promenade, for your next turn. And Ticket will special summon Pettingses from your deck, which will then special summon Puddingses from your hand. So then you have Puddingses on your field and an empty grave, and you will of course use your Madolche Knights, which is the next card in the deck, which is basically when you have Puddingses on the field, the card is broken, literally broken.
Oh my god. So what does it do with the Puddingses? Okay, so if you have 2 cards in your graveyard, negate the activation. Then if you control Puddingses, shuffle 1 random card in your opponent's hand. Wow, you rip their hand and you negate their card.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That is pretty good. I was wondering how you could use this card because you have to have no monsters in your graveyard. That was like with that, I guess with that many hand traps, I was always like having that concern.
Yeah. Well, if you have hand traps, you just use your teacher to just return them back to your deck. But if you're going first, so if you go full combo without using your Herald, you will end up, when you use your 2 monsters for the Link Summon of your Sisters, that will proc the effect of Teacher. So then Teacher will shuffle the 2 materials that you used back into your deck, and usually the materials will be Choco and Hoodcake, and you can return Hoodcake to your hand because you have Chateau on the field, and then Puddingses will still be the only monster you have in your graveyard.
Okay. Next 2 cards we have Grave Digger Trap Hole. This is for your Rafflesia, Anti-Nibiru.
Yes, for Rafflesia, Anti-Nibiru, and I was thinking of running 1 or 2, but actually having 2 is much better because going first, you will negate 1 hand trap, and you have a disruption on your opponent's turn. You can negate any virtual world monsters. You can negate Misk to protect the dinos. It's actually quite good. You can negate any Drytron from in the hand or in the grave, and it's all around a great card.
Okay, and finally we are going to look into a pair of Solemn Strike. I guess a Solemn Strike.
Thinking of going for either Judgment or Strike, but there's not a lot of cards you can actually Judgment, so Strike was just the better option. You mainly just strike Ultimate Conductor Tyranno or the Zeus when it's summoned. Then that's the main use for Strike.
All right. Okay, going into your extra deck, we have triple Tiara Misu. The non-targeting removal is probably one of the best effects in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think you can shuffle away Dragoon, shuffle away basically any problem card there is, and probably known for her non-targeting bouncing effect to
yes, definitely the best rank 4 Xyz ever to be made, hands down.
Hands down. This from the Madolche God. Next, we have probably another MVP of the current format. This card definitely made a huge difference in such a grave-centric format. This is Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. The protection plus the shuffle back. I think the quick effect shuffle back. It's like 2 cards, right?
Yeah, you can shuffle up to 2 cards. Also doesn't target cards in the grave. Yeah.
Oh, it does not target. Oh.
It doesn't.
Okay, well that's really, really good. Oh my god, that just gives you the best timing. Timing-wise, best timing already. Then we have triple Chocolate Mode. I think some of these eventually will get banished face down from Pot of Prosperity. That's why you try to max out.
You usually just you banish mainly 1 of each, and then you banish your other cards. You can banish your Zeus. Zeus is probably the card I mostly banish. So Zeus and Nightmare Phoenix and Link Spider. Yeah, those are the 6 cards. So 1 of each of the Xyz, Madolches, and Zeus, Link Spider, and Phoenix.
Link, Spider, and Phoenix. So let's just put these all into the page right now since we have already talked about them. So these are part of your, I guess these are your utility. Spider's an interesting one. Okay.
Spider is actually because a lot of people here in the Balkan area run dinos. So I just wanted the Spider to remove the dino token so I can Book of Moon their Dolka or their Conductor.
I like the utility. At least it's a card that you don't summon anyway, so you can get rid of it. Okay.
You mainly don't.
And then the last 3 cards here, we have a pair of Sistarts, and then we have 1 Rafflesia, as we mentioned earlier. So there's no surprises here. Sistar's really... I love Sistar. Sistar's ability to protect the spells and traps just makes it really hard to break the board. This is like one of that extra icing on the cake, all pun intended, to protect the entire back row, making it so that every single time you try to pop anything, you'll end up just putting more stuff on the field. That's the feeling I get from here.
Yeah. So when she was initially announced, when her effect was announced, I didn't really think much of it, but after quite a lot of playtesting, she's actually a really, really great card. And the only thing that would have been better is just a Link 1 Madolche that does literally anything, maybe just searches a card. Okay. Yeah, but this Link is actually perfect.
I mean, if there was a Link 1, we'd probably just switch one for another one and probably still keep the Sistart in there too.
Well, you'll probably just... I'd probably just swap out the Zeus, for a Link 1.
Did you even summon Zeus?
And no, not even once. So the entire point of Zeus is if you open, like, let's say Magdalene and Petting, and both of them eat a hand trap, what you're gonna do is, of course, going second. What you're gonna do is overlay those two for Teacher, just slap Choco on top of it, attack, and go for Zeus with 4 materials under it.
So you can make 4 material Zeus. Haha, okay.
Yeah, you can if your Petting Sis doesn't go through because she locks you into Madolche.
Yes. Okay, now we're gonna go into the side deck here. All right. So side deck wise, I don't think there's too much to talk about for the Nibiru. Nibiru. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, well, actually, I was thinking of running it in the main, but after some thinking, it really doesn't do much against Drytrons. It doesn't do anything against virtual worlds. You will still get VFD'd. And of course, it doesn't do anything against dinos. So it's only good against rogue decks, so that's why it's in the side.
Okay, so let's move this away here. This is an interesting choice. I never thought I would see this, but you play triple sunny side. You're dropping every single ball you can. You drop these balls, you drop those balls.
Yes, Mudodra, yes, Ras balls. That's actually Sphere Mode plus Petting Sis is a full board clear and an OTK.
Which matchup is this for?
It's for any matchup that puts unbreakable boards. So I sided in against Phantom Knights. I would have used it if, let's say, Dragon Link came up. I sided it in against Paleo Frogs, hoping I would just put it over 3 totally awesomes, but that didn't happen.
Okay.
And yeah, if any deck puts like a bunch of negates, even Pendulums, of course, because they put a lot of negates, just slap Sphere Mode on top of 3 monsters, show Petting Sis in hand, and they will just scoop.
Yeah, they're dead. That's clear and OTK. I like that. I like the approach. Next, we have more stuff that we're dropping onto opponent's side of the field. We are dropping Kaijus as well up here. 1 Gamseo and 1 Kumongus.
So yeah, I basically just wanted 2 different names in case I actually happen to draw both of them, just so that my Kaiju would be stronger than theirs. And of course, along with Pancratops and Gamma Seal are Bebop and Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles, so they have to go together.
I like that.
I always run them, and yeah, I mean, Pancratops is actually pretty fine. The Kaijus, I think I didn't use Kaijus once, and the single use for Pancratops was just to protect my monsters from Fogblade.
Ah, okay, that's really good. Now we're gonna go into some back row spice. Well, I guess we'll finish. We'll finish with the Dark Ruler first. Triple Dark Ruler.
Oh, of course. Because self-explanatory.
Yeah, just goodbye board. Now we're gonna talk about some of the fun stuff. You play triple. Hey, Trunade.
Yes. So, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, Hate Runade is the best anti-back row card.
Really? Better than this guy?
Yes, definitely better than this guy.
Okay, explain.
Well, for instance, say you're running a mirror match. Okay. You won't. I mean, still you won't do anything against Madolches with Hate Runades. But I wanted to have Hate Runades because, of course, you can play 3 of them and you can only run 1 Feather Duster. So I thought running 1 Feather Duster and double Hate Runade would be kind of bad. So if you play, it was just for, let's say, for Altergeist, for Guru, for maybe Trap Tricks, for those matchups. I didn't side it once. I sided it against Paleo Frogs, but didn't happen to draw it.
I do like this card. Like, you know, not being once per turn and all. Like, against, like, say, Eldritch. You force them to activate everything.
Yes, yes. Well, the only way they can stop it is either just activating everything, or if they judgment it. I am not talking about Altergeist, Guru, and Paleo.
But
So yeah, against those decks, Hate Runade and one of your starter is pretty much GG.
I would say this card is more effective in your deck than most, because you don't mind it once your opponent uses Alter back row. Just the Tiramisu can just throw them back all into the deck.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that is lovely. I like this. And finally, I guess the anti back row of all decks, the one red.
Yes, of course, red reboot, and you of course don't mind it in Madolche's because for all you care, they can set 6 more traps. You'll shuffle all of them back with Tiramisu, and you won't care.
Yeah, that's what I like about this. Okay, that's the main, the extra, the side. Okay, let's go into that situation I talked about earlier. So we're gonna go back into that scenario that we talked about. Okay, so say we just burned a hand trap here. We use Herald of the Orange Light, and we discarded among the cost, we have the Petting Cessor. Okay, so now we're gonna draw for turn. And this is our card. So you say that one Hoot Kick just builds the whole board.
Yeah, either Hoot Kick or Angeli in this case.
Okay,
so you just, of course, normal summon Hoot.
Take me to school. All right, normal summon the Hoot Kick. Effect.
And target Herald with its effect, banish it, and bring out Petting Cess.
Bring out the Petting Cess. Of course, Petting Cess, whenever she special summon, her effect activates.
Yes, you bring out Pudding Cess, of course.
Petting Cess or Pudding Cess?
Petting Cess, and then Petting Cess brings out Pudding Cess with her second effect.
Out Pudding Cess. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Okay, then you're gonna overlay those two for your teacher.
Okay, we're gonna straight into the teacher right now. Yeah, I'm literally getting taken to school now. All right.
And use her first effect to protect herself by detaching Petting Cess.
Yes, protecting herself.
And you still won't use her second effect.
Not shuffling these back in. Okay.
Yeah, no, not yet. So now you put Chocolate on top of teacher.
Do I put it? Which zone does it matter?
So you basically just don't want to put it. You want to have the middle or the far right or far left. You want one of those open because you want C-start pointing at teacher. But yeah, you can just leave the middle zone open and put that anywhere else.
Okay.
So you're gonna use her first effect to shuffle a Madolche monster from the graveyard into the deck, and you're gonna shuffle one of your Petting Cess, and that's gonna trigger her second effect to detach and special summon Madolche from the deck.
And what are we going for this time?
You can go for either Angeli or straight for Messenger Gelato, but let's say you go for Angeli.
Angeli, okay.
Yeah. So now you of course activate Angeli, tribute herself to summon Messenger Gelato.
And this Messenger Gelato cannot be destroyed by battle.
By battle, yes. And he will search your chateau.
Chateau it is. So yeah, this is what you mean. You just need to proc it once. Okay.
Yeah. So you of course activate Chateau, shuffle all 3 of your monsters, and that will trigger your Choco. Detach and bring out the second Messenger Gelato.
Okay. I see. That's why those cards are more important. This one's effect. What do we grab?
So now you got 2 options. So you can search Salon, just for why not, and of course activate Salon. So if you have anything else, say you have a level 4, you will use the additional normal summon to bring it out, and you will keep the Madolche Messenger Gelato that's protected by Angeli on the board because he can be destroyed by battle. But let's say you don't have anything. Let's say you don't have anything.
Okay.
So just leave the Salon on the field, overlay the 2 Messenger Gelatos for your second teacher.
Okay, well, second teacher, here we go.
And now link Hoot Kick and Choco for C-Start.
These 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And use teacher's second effect.
Teacher's second effect. How does that? How did that activate?
So when a Madolche card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle 2 cards back from any player's graveyard into the deck.
We are grabbing. What are we getting?
So you can bring Hoot Kick back into your hand because you have Chateau.
Mm-hmm.
And Choco goes to your extra deck. And Salon can set your Promenade from your deck to your field.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so That's the basic combo if you used your Herald to protect yourself from a hand trap. But of course, if you're going second, at this point, instead of going for Teacher, you will of course go for Tiramisu and shuffle everything back and go for the OTK. So that's the only difference if you're first or second. Just instead of going for Teacher, go for Tia.
I have a normal summon here too, if I needed to push for damage. And if I had the copy of Promenade, or if I already had a copy of, say, Promenade, I could
Yes, you will search either... Yeah, Ticket or Knights, yeah.
Oh, then I only have one monster, so if this gets shuffled back in or summoned, summoned from a ticket, then this Knight is gonna rip a card. Okay, I see. Wow, that is mean. That is really mean. Okay, I like this. And technically, we still have 3 other cards in our hand while we did that.
Yes, of course. They can be, I don't know, Strikes, Cyclones, Book of Moons, Grave Diggers, maybe, Hand Traps.
So don't be afraid of running hand traps in Madolche. That's the lesson I'm getting right now.
You don't need to be afraid,
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing this with me. This is really awesome. Complete eye-opener. I haven't really seen Madolche in play for some time now, and you are giving me a very interesting build. Like, this is different. This is completely different. Yeah, hand traps all the way. Okay, thank you so much, Aleksandar.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, learned a little bit more about how to play hand traps in Madolche, smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding the notification bell for more upcoming videos as well. And if anything, the ban list either already came out by the time this video came out, which makes this deck probably even stronger.
Even better, yes.
Probably.
The ban list can only boost the deck.
Yeah, ban list can only boost the deck. Please, Konami. And that's all I got for this video. So, any last minute shout out you want to give? If there's none, we can just move on.
No, I already said everything I wanted to say.
All right, well, in that case, and I'll see you guys in the next one.